So what we're going to move on to now is looking at how you respond as a manager to some of the challenges that you may face within your team. So we're going to look at four main areas for what's left of this morning's session. So we're going to be looking at resistance of team members to change, conflict between team members, which we probably all come across, but perhaps as newer managers, we've never had to sort it before. Perhaps we've been in the conflict but never had to manage it, and now we've got to do something with it. Unconscious bias, which you may or may not have heard of, but we're going to do more detail on that shortly. And also the challenge of being a member of more than one team. So how do you divide your time up? How do you make sure you're doing your job well? So the first one, resistance of team members to change. So we hear a lot, don't we, about, oh, people are just difficult, they don't want to change, they just don't like change. There's a lot of research around change and why people resist, but it's actually moving away from assuming that people are being difficult for the sake of being difficult, because not many people are. There will be a few, but not many. So we're going to discuss that in more detail within an exercise in a minute, but something I just wanted to share with you, which you may have come across before, is what's called the change curve. And this basically illustrates how an individual goes through a period of change. And this might be a relatively small change, or it might be something significant within an organisation. So what we have up the side here, and again, you'll see different models. If you Google it, you'll see different language. But basically, this is pretty much about how is somebody feeling, how confident are they, how is their morale, are they happy, and how good are they within their role. And along the bottom is obviously around time. So the best way to describe this is with an example. So perhaps as a manager, or perhaps actually as the employee, somebody comes to talk to you and says, Jane, I need to talk to you. I need to let you know we're going to be having a brand new IT system. Really exciting, new IT system. So it's going to really change how you do your role. So what happens here for Jane is usually there'll be that initial, oh, that sounds interesting. Wonder what that's like. I wonder what the system's like. But then, and everybody will do this to one extent or another, then that little bit of doubt starts to come in. Jane thinks, oh, but what does this mean to me? Is my job at risk? Oh gosh, the last time we had a new IT system, it was absolute chaos and really, really stressful for months. So what's happening here over time is this side here, her confidence, her morale, her effectiveness takes a dip. And these language, we'll come back to the 1 to 4 in a minute, but this language is that Jane goes into a little period of denial, thinking, oh no, they can't be doing it again. We can't have another IT system. I can't go through that and all the stress that happened with that. Ultimately, I mean, everyone goes through this in a different way, which we'll come to. Next emotion potentially is anger. When we're right at the bottom, so we're thinking, I can't believe they're doing this. They didn't consult us at all. You know, why do we need a new IT system? I don't need this level of stress. And then hopefully, Jane then starts to exploring, thinking, well, maybe it could be a good thing. Perhaps they learned from how badly it went last time and it's going to be different this time. Maybe it is a better system. Maybe it's going to make my job easier. And then hopefully over here, she accepts that's what's going to happen. And if you see different models, the idea being that if it's a change that's worth happening and it's a good change, then Jane's confidence, morale, effectiveness in her role is actually higher than it was before. So it's called the change curve. Everybody goes through it in a different way. So some people might just dip a tiny bit where they have a little bit of a wobble and then they're straight out the other side. Other people, this is sometimes called the valley of despair because people are worried and upset about what's going to happen. And your role as a manager, which we're going to do with some case studies in a minute, is to help, in this case Jane, to go through that curve as quickly as possible.